Hey y'all, Bridget Chandler here from Athens State University, and this video is the midpoint video for CE 520, Aligning Career and Technical Education Curricula. And today is actually the midpoint of the semester. How I'm so aware of this is that I teach undergraduate courses that are in mini terms, and today starts like a brand new semester in mini term 2. So it is officially the midpoint for fall 2017. I made myself a list of things so I wouldn't forget to address some specifics with you guys today. First and foremost, storm safety. I hope that I've heard from a couple of people in class, and I'm so glad to hear from those of you who were in the affected areas of Hurricane Nate that you are okay, you're safe, and that you're working to get yourself back on track. I am very impressed that during such a time that your academic work was important to you and that you thought to contact me. So thank you so much for doing so. My youngest child and I were actually down on the coast, and we didn't have the weekend that we had hoped for, but thank goodness we were safe. So I know that there was a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of power outage, and a lot of people just all over the place. So I'm glad that everyone is safe. Those of you who were affected, please, by all means, take your time on getting your assignment in. Don't let that be a stressor to you at this point. You have enough other things to worry about, but I know that you'll get that in and you'll get caught back up. So thank you for letting me know. Great news for all of those who were concerned with our SACS approval. On October the 5th, we got an email here that SACS, we have the full-blown official approval of the graduate program. So yay! No more waiting for the official word. That's it. We've had the preliminary, and now SACS has officially approved our program as of October 5th, 2017. As I said, this is the midpoint check, and so I want this to be a midpoint check for me and the course. Now, I have already been doing some self-evaluation, and I will tell you that I have learned so much about teaching in a graduate program and about adapting curriculum and working to address the needs of varied learners, which is all things that we teach in education classes, and I've been able to learn that from a whole different perspective this semester. And so I've got my list of areas for improvement and what I want to work on and what I plan to improve upon personally and in the course for the remainder of this semester, and then as we move forward. So I owe you all a very, very huge thank you for bearing with me, for your patience, your understanding, as this being the first semester in the graduate program at Athens State in Career and Technical Education. We are working on courses for the spring, and like I said, I've made lots of notes on what I can do differently and do better, but I would like to hear if you have some specific feedback for me or for the 520 course, just so you know what kind of where I am in my self-evaluation. It's juggling. It's juggling the many roles of working in the undergraduate program and leading that program, and then as well as trying to work in this program and kind of go in a whole new direction. It's a lot of balancing that I feel like sometimes I'm not doing very well with it, but those are kind of personal sides that are not directly related to this course. So balancing that work and making sure that I'm attentive. Something that has come to my attention is that I, due to just, I guess, the way I think and the time constraints, everything, that I have a couple of times addressed you all as a class, as a whole, rather than replying to your individual emails, and I apologize if that was not acceptable or if you didn't feel like that really answered your questions, because that was not my intention at all. I view the online classroom like I would a face-to-face classroom, and as an instructor, usually my thoughts are, if there's one or two people who have a question, then probably other people are wondering about that or something similar. So I generally try to answer to everyone. So I apologize if you didn't feel that I've addressed your specific questions, and I'm going to work on that so that I'm not addressing the whole class, and then you feel like you still have questions out there dangling and you're not sure about things. So again, I appreciate that feedback, and again, balancing is something I'm going to work on. The content building, that is something. And to me, it's very interesting that this is course development type course and lining curriculum, and you're seeing a course being developed in progress, which is good, because this is what real life is that no matter how pretty all my notes and stuff were when I started and my outlines for the class, that there's constant revision going on. And that's largely due to what I'm learning as I go more about my learners, which is something that you're going to be doing in discussion board 3. Is if you've looked at that's coming up on your calendars, is your learner analysis. And so that would be whoever would be involved in the course that you're working on for this class, the curriculum that you're developing. So maybe you would find out about your learners as you go, as I have been doing in this class, or it might be something you'll be better prepared for than me. So moving forward, I think that this course will be great, and that's probably why those outside agencies like Quality Matters, that they want you to teach a class a couple of semesters before you even submit it for their approval, because things just change and evolve. But that's how true curriculum works, and I hope that you will see in this course with your assignments, when you're going through and you'll work on the next assignment. I mentioned in another video before, it may affect what you thought was what you wanted to submit, or how the direction you were wanting to go with your curriculum, and you may go back and change and revise, and that is very normal and very much expected. And so I hope that you feel the freedom to do that, to make this something that you can really use and apply in your current situation. Another thing that I thought of this morning, when I was looking over all the assignments and where we are and getting a gauge for that, is I thought there's some of you folks that you all have been teaching for a long time, and you've been developing curriculum, and you've been writing courses and revising courses for a very long time, and you may do them in a different order. So that's another kind of point of preference, I guess you could say. That I know personally, like I'll do an outline for a course of what I think is going on, and I'll kind of start chunking content, and then I'll go back in. But sometimes I get caught up, and when I get on one topic, like I want to go deep and develop assessments and projects and activities, whereas the way that this course is set up for teaching you to develop content and curriculum is that you start with the big picture, which is how I learned how to do course development years ago, but that's not necessarily how I practice it all the time, because as you start to practice what you learn, then sometimes that order will change. So I thought of that too. I thought some of you guys may be going, oh wait, right now, like for example, we started on module 3 this week, and you might not would have been doing goals and outcomes and objectives at this point, but after a task analysis. You might would have done a task analysis after you've established your goals and outcomes and objectives. So some of this, it is personal preference and what makes more sense to you and how it's going to be most useful to you. So for the class, just so that we're all together, turn in the assignments in the order of the areas of the curriculum development. But then in practice, you may see yourself, and it may be different from content to content, that you would change the order in which you develop certain pieces of what you're working on. So that's just kind of a sidebar and a side note on that. So moving on, and I'm trying to stay on my list of what I was going to speak with you about. So give me a midpoint check-in. Let me know if there's anything that you think, okay, my goodness, please don't ever do this again, or you should move this to module 1, module 2. Just give me some feedback if you have some feedback about CE 520, or if you have other feedback for me. As I told you, the kind of self-evaluation things I'm working on is being more responsive to you as individuals, and also getting scores entered in a more timely fashion, because I know that some of you are sitting there going, well, wait a minute, I don't even know what I've made on that yet, so I can't move forward. So apologies there, and I am working on that. But then also, I would like to say I'm not going to be adding content as I go ever again, but I've never found that to be the case. In my undergraduate course right now, I'm teaching evaluation that starts today. Chances are I will add some stuff in that I haven't had in the course before, just because when I run across something I think is useful, and maybe something I've never seen before, and I try to add it into those courses and build them and enhance them as I go. But please give me some feedback as a midpoint check-in. And then on class notes moving forward, we did start module 3 this week, and so you will remember that assignment 4 was bumped to be due this past Sunday, and which assignment 3, and assignment 4 were both bumped, and so assignment 4 would be due this past Sunday, which is part of module 3, and you should have begun your readings in module 3, and working toward your discussion board posts, and working from discussion board posts on your following assignments. So you'll be doing your learner analysis. If you haven't done that yet, that's discussion board 3, and hopefully that will help to shape the other assignments as we're moving forward. And remember, revision is okay, revision is welcome, because this is a dynamic process, and then you will have a chance to then bundle all these assignments for your final project for the course. And so this week, just let me know if there's any specific questions or concerns you have. I think it would be helpful for me and for others in the class if you run across some great help piece, some website, some videos or something that are not used in the class, if you don't mind sharing those with me as part of the midpoint check-in. I would love to be able to incorporate the outside learning that you're finding as you're going through the course into the course to enhance it and make it better. So touch base with me, give me some feedback. Let me know if you have any questions, and keep up the good work. Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye.